So for this problem, we're given a diagram, which is nice. This would be a much harder problem if we weren't given the diagram and we had to do it ourselves. But let's try to understand where this came from, just in case we might have to draw this. So from the top of a lighthouse, that's this, and it doesn't matter. You could have started the lighthouse on the other side and just switched everything. But it says the angles below the horizontal, which is this line, are 30 and 40. And so it doesn't really matter which one you pick is which, but one of them has to be this smaller piece and the other one has to kind of have a larger piece. So if we started our diagram like this instead, and we had, this is the lighthouse, and then the horizontal went this way, we could start drawing, let's say, and then this is the water where the ships are. We could start drawing our line like this, and then that would mean, this one would be 30, but then if we started drawing this line down here, then this line would be 40. And so the way these angles are actually going to switch, if we call these the two ships, these points, then the 30-degree angle would end up over here, and the 40-degree angle would end up over here. So they always kind of switch around because the picture is just becoming upside down. So then they fill in this 10-degree angle for us, and that's because actually this angle is missing. This one would be 140, because 140 plus 40 is 180. These two angles would have to make up a line, and then the 10 degrees comes from there. So you could use that angle also for this problem to figure out what that 10 degrees is. So then we can't really find h if we're going to use this right triangle here, because we're not given enough information. So we have to look at the non-right triangle on the left and use the sine rule. So we say sine of 30 over x, because that's the opposite side, equals sine of 10 over 100, because that's the information we're given. This angle is across from 100. So then we cross multiply 100 times sine of 30 equals x times sine of 10. And then we divide both sides by sine of 10 to cancel that out. And we can type this part into our calculator. 100 times sine of 30. Make sure we're in degree mode. And then divide by sine of 10. And we can figure out what x is. 287.9. Okay, and I'm just going to leave that number in my calculator because I'm going to use it again for the next part. So if this is about 287.9, now I can set up an equation just involving one sine. So sine of 40 equals opposite over hypotenuse. And this x is the hypotenuse of that right triangle. So now to solve this equation, since my variable's in the denominator, actually no, I messed this up. These should be flipped. Sine of 40 equals opposite over hypotenuse. This is a little bit easier now. Sine of 40 goes there. So now sine of 40 is just a number. We can multiply both sides by 287.9, or about 288. So that will cancel out. And so we do 287.9 times sine of 40, and that's going to give us the height of the lighthouse. So I'm just going to keep that number in the calculator since it's got all the decimals, and just say times sine of 40, and then I can round that answer from there. It says round to the nearest whole number, so since we've got a 0 here, we can just leave it 185.